Every person is a gem when polished bright. Every waste is wealth when used right. This theory of the hidden secrets of waste finds its home in Brantford, Ontario, which is known as the Telephone City after Alexander Graham Bell. Wessuc, one of Ontario's leading resources on municipal, industrial, and agricultural wastewater infrastructure and processes, is focused on turning waste into value.
We are a service-based company that look after wastewater treatment facilities, lagoon cleanouts, coring, land application of biosolids. We go to places where no one wants to go.
We started our business in 2000. We seen a need for a company like ours to start up because the area was being monopolized, so to speak. So we thought it would be a good opportunity for us to start our business. Our father had been in this business before.
Our company motto or our slogan is we turn waste into value.
At Wessuc, waste isn't a job, it's a calling to save the environment.
We have 8 different divisions, and every division is moving on a daily basis. So we have land application, like I'd mentioned, CCTV flushing, we have spot repair, we have our vac services, we have our dewatering, and we have our haulage. Plus we have our coring and hydro excavation.
As business was expanding, Wessuc realized that their capacity for professionalism was challenged by their reporting system.
When we started looking at what we were doing fundamentally in terms of reporting on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis, we were finding that our sales managers were having to input information twice, 3 times into different systems. There was a job nimbus, there was a Sandler system that we had in terms of a pipeline, and none of these systems talk to each other. So it didn't seem to us that we were utilizing our time to the best of our ability by the duplication of information going in. Plus, when you're starting to duplicate information, you then have human error.
The complication of the legacy software and duplication of data forced them to look for a change, a hassle-free change.
We were actually with a program called Jonas Software. Our experience with Jonas was less than positive, to put it mildly.
So really what we were trying to do was to bring in a system that would allow us to input information once and once only, and then from there feed into our entire network.
So what was Wessuc looking at that would guide their business towards a promising future?
When we sat down as a group and we started talking about how do we grow our business, how do we become more transparent within our organization, it was pretty apparent that the first thing we'd start with was the CRM, or implementing a CRM, because we really didn't have one that was functional.
I'm good friends with the owner from CSL Group. They helped us initially when we were looking for a CRM to work with.
Then once we brought OTP in, it was then a company-wide initiative that we should embrace this, and it would allow all of the departments to function and understand what we're doing from a daily basis.
OTP DesignWorks is an authorized Zoho reseller and a premier partner of Zoho Alliance from Ontario, Canada. They have years of experience consulting various clients in North America.
Wessuc had reached out to us and called us because of a referral from another one of our customers locally called CSL Group. And we had done a CRM implementation for CSL. Wessuc had been using a number of disparate systems over the years, and most recently was on a CRM contractor package called Jonas, which in their minds wasn't serving them well.
For Wessuc, this was an evaluation stage, and they would not compromise on anything that was less promising.
We were looking at two different options, Zoho and Salesforce, I believe.
So I followed Salesforce into their conference room, who had recently done their presentation, and it was a tough audience. The Wessuc executives were all ready for me to come in with the hard sell approach. And that's not who we are at OTP, and it's not who we are at Zoho. Zoho's capabilities speak for themselves. And so rather than coming in with a sales pitch, I simply asked them to explain to me their pain points, their needs, problems, and what they wanted to achieve.
From my perspective, it was like, just be upfront. This is what the challenges that we've had. This is what we really are looking for. And if it can't be done, we'd rather hear no, like right away, than walk us down the garden path and then 6 months later tell us no.
Wessuc welcomed Zoho CRM and acknowledged its worth.
Beginning stages of getting on with Zoho, the implementation and the onboarding was actually quite interesting. I believe our sales team were the first ones to take on the aspect of Zoho and what it all entailed.
However, they wanted an upgrade in all their divisions.
They wanted to move to a cohesive system that was going to allow them to scale and grow their business while reducing their costs at the same time and giving them cost certainty in their operations, accuracy, and removing a lot of redundant data entry, which was a major problem for them.
OTP then provided us with 48 other avenues that we could go down with Zoho 1.
And it encompassed everything that we were looking at, so we started to really research that and look into it. And from what we did see from the CRM aspect when we first started looking at it, it was very simple. It's complex in what it can do, but the user face aspect of it is really user-friendly.
The ecosystem of Zoho is pretty much what sealed the deal, so to speak, to go with Zoho. The fact that it covered so many options and needs that we had. QuickBooks, for example, had a great accounting program, but it didn't have all the other options that we now have with Zoho, from expense to creator to books to CRM to people. It just has so many options.
And I've never even heard of Zoho before I got here. I was pleasantly surprised. It's quite easy to use. The functionality, I'm amazed at what it does.
At the end of the day, it was what was brought to us in terms of the Zoho package that made more sense to go with.
And I think the biggest benefit to the Zoho, whether it be expense, Zoho people, Zoho click, all those things that we use and that our guys out in the field use. They use Creator for a bunch of their programs. Those things are very user-friendly, and it's just tap and go. We're very Apple-oriented in our company, so people who use Apple know that it's very user-friendly, right? Zoho complements that.
So Wessuc's needs were a little more all-encompassing than a typical company. Because they've got multiple divisions servicing a large geography, they've got a lot of field staff, they've got admin staff, they've got staff performing mechanical services, they've got a large fleet of vehicles, they've got customers that range from municipal customers and government entities through to private enterprise and institutions.
Zoho to us had far more assets, shall we say, that we could as a company invest in, and overall we could start to understand our business on a daily basis versus waiting for the end of the month and seeing if a job was profitable or not.
Wessuc has a unique way of approaching their work with purpose.
Well, I think the way that we service the communities that we look after across Ontario is certainly something that we're very proud of. Our professionalism on site is second to none, and the speed in which we do the work is also second to none.
We work at a high quality workmanship. We expect a high quality workmanship from the clients that we work with, or the suppliers that we work with, the programs that we work with.
So we didn't buy Zoho based on a dollar value. We based on what was best for the company overall and how the system could actually work within every aspect of our company. And as we grow our company, will this also grow with us? And the answer was yes.
The acute conversion from their legacy software to Zoho signaled a risk, but it was the best decision.
We had some issues at the beginning, getting our heads wrapped around the different programs, getting our people sold on a program, because this is going to be the second or third program that we have implemented in 2-3 years.
And we had to figure out a way to import data from 5 or 6 different legacy systems into Zoho. What we didn't want to do was give them another Frankenstack like what they're using right now.
Migrating the data over from our previous program, Jonas, was definitely on the Jonas side. Complexity of their way of tracking data made it a challenge to bring it over. We hired OTP to do that.
Without a hitch, there was a radical transformation in the work life of the staff at Wessuc.
With Zoho 1, what we found was any sort of information, email that was related to the discussion that we were having was automatically put into the CRM. Any phone call could go into the CRM. So now any information that we were obtaining through discussions via in-person, email, over the phone, could actually be transcribed and put into Zoho for everyone to look at. You've got our project managers looking at information. You've got our director of operations looking at our information that's there for everyone to see. Now we've got a little bit more insight as to how we could price the job, how we could be more competitive with the job.
Eventually, for managing their fleet, we did an extremely deep integration with a product called Fluid Mobility, which is a GPS tracking ELD system operating worldwide. So no matter where Wessuc goes in the future, their GPS tracking system will be able to manage their business.
GPS system upgrade and the ELDs is new for us, and the ELDs more so with regards to electronic log devices. So we're just starting with that program. That's new regulation that's coming out that we had to upgrade to that, so that's more of a regulatory upgrade.
Zoho Expense has been phenomenal in the sense that we're getting it the next day, so to speak, or same day, depending when the guys enter in their receipts. Prior, we used to have guys go out of town on a job for, say, a week, and we wouldn't get any of their expenses that they wouldn't submit it till the end of the week, or we receive it at the beginning of the following week. Now we're getting it that night. We get a picture of the receipt, so we know how much is, where it's for, what job it's for, how much is the taxes. We just have that instant feedback, which is just phenomenal for your costing side of each project that you're going out on.
So the metrics in place are showing that the Zoho system is providing our guys with more time to see clients, more time to prospect, and whenever we're in front of a client, we generally come away with something.
Beyond the suite of apps that Zoho provides, Wessuc considers their rapport with Zoho to be a promising relationship.
I was really floored just in my own personal interactions with Zoho support. I can get an answer for something. I have an issue with Zoho Expense or Zoho People. I type in, I talk to the online support. They're there to help us, and they don't care what it takes. They're there to work with us to make sure that we're getting the best out of it.
Zoho has been great. It's so user-friendly, so easy to use. If you make an error, you can edit easily. You can follow the transactions. You can pull reports.
The nice thing is we enter something in projects or the CRM, the information automatically goes to the other apps. So less typing, less keyboard strokes.
The changeover into Zoho with our payroll system, our custom-made payroll report, has saved us from processing approximately 700 pieces of paper a week. I think the employees have appreciated the switch over to the electronic tracking as opposed to paper timesheet. It comes instantly. We're able to approve them remotely wherever we are.
So everything's just made sense in terms of growth, development, speed, accuracy of all of our departments moving forward. And I really think that's what Zoho 1 brought to the table.